Good morning everyone. I am Ramesh. Welcome to this virtual class. Today we are going to discuss a very important grammar item from our English textbook, active and passive voice. In our daily life, we use this word knowingly or unknowingly in various contexts. This is also seen in our English question paper as a sure question. So today let us see how can we convert an active sentence into passive. First, let us see what they are: active voice and passive voice. Active voice and passive voice. When the subject of the sentence is the doer of the action, the verb is said to be in the active voice. See, when we give more importance to the subject of the action, it is said to be in the active voice. Then what is next? When the subject of the sentence is not the active agent of the action, the verb is said to be in the passive voice. So in brief, we can say that if we are giving more importance to the subject part of the sentence, that sentence is in the active voice. And if we are giving more importance to the action, that will be in the passive voice. That is the difference between active voice and passive voice. I repeat, if we are giving more importance to the doer of the action or subject, it is in the active voice, and if we are giving more importance to action than the doer of the action, it is said to be in the passive voice. Now let us see, when do we use this active voice? When do we use active voice? If the action is more important than the agent or subject. Normally, when we are writing something or a sentence, there we will have a confusion whether we have to give more importance to the subject part or to the action part. Then if action is more important than the subject, we have to write that, or we can use that sentence in passive voice. Next one. See, it is not necessary to mention the agent. If it is not necessary to mention the agent of the action, we have to use passive voice. How? If the agent is not from the context, if the agent is known from the context, we don't have to use the agent there. Then where we have to use passive voice. For example, somebody stole my purse. There you can take, my purse was stolen, and it is not necessary to use there. Or another example we can take, the doctors conducted the operation. The doctors conducted the operation. You know, the operation was conducted not by the doctors. Why? We know that normally the doctors do the operation. So it is known from the context. So we don't have to use the by agent there, or we can give more importance to action part than the subject part. Then second case, unknown, that I told you in the first part. Somebody stole the purse. Somebody stole my purse, and who did it, I don't know. So we can say that my purse was stolen. My purse was stolen, and the stolen is the more important part. There we use passive voice. Next, it is unimportant, not necessary to tell who by the agent is. In this context also we can use passive voice. So second point, passive voice is used if it is not necessary to mention the agent. Normally three cases are there. One is if by agent is known from the context. Second one, if by agent is unknown, and third one, if by agent is unimportant. Now, next thing, it is not desirable to mention the agent. Certain context we will have to avoid the agent, by agent, or the subject part. Then we are focusing only on the action. For example, the man was shot dead and we don't know who killed him, and we can't tell the person exactly. In such context, or some other consequences may be there if we mention the agent or the doer of the action. In such context, as a safe mechanism, we can use this thing. It is not desirable to mention the agent. There we have to use passive voice, because we can avoid by the agent and we can give the focus to the action part. Okay, next one is for a language variety. Sometimes some people use this passive voice in order to add some style to their language. And if we are writing all the sentences in a paragraph or in an essay or somewhere in all active voice, it is not that much good, that much readable, or there won't be any variety to the language. So in such context, we use passive voice in order to add a style to our language, or add beauty to our language. Okay, now next one, it is used an escape mechanism, and sometimes we have to avoid the agent. We will have to avoid the agent in such context also. In order to escape from the context, in order to avoid the by agent from the context, we can use passive voice. And I can say, your money will be given. Your money will be given. I am assuring you, your money will be given. It means that you will get your money. When? No idea. By whom? No idea. And the agent is escaped from there. Right now, but the listener will be convinced that he will get his money. So in such context, when we have to avoid this person or the by agent, we can use passive voice. So passive voice is used in this particular time. If the action is more important than the agent, if it is not necessary to mention the agent with these three important contexts. Okay, it is not desirable to mention the agent, you can use passive voice. For a language variety, you can use passive voice. It is used as an escape mechanism. That also is very important. So remember, now we are going to examine what are the steps that we have to follow while converting an active sentence into passive. Remember, we have to follow 4 steps. Let us see what they are. Now, see, first step, change the object into subject position. First, if you get a sentence, active sentence, and if you are asked to convert or change this active sentence into passive sentence, do one thing. First you have to change the object into subject position. Okay, sometimes you will find a little difficulty in finding out the object. There you can use these 2 questions, who or what. Ask the verb who or what, and the answer that you will get will be the object, and take the object into subject position. For example, Sita wrote a letter. Sita wrote a letter. So here Sita wrote is the verb, no? Now you ask verb, wrote what? Sita wrote what? What is the answer? Definitely it is the letter. So you can take letter as the object and take that into subject position. Then Rama killed Ravana. Rama killed Ravana. Rama killed who? Ravana. So Ravana is the object, and take that into subject part. So first step that you have to follow while converting or while changing an active sentence into passive is take the object into subject position. Okay. Now what is the second one? Second one, you have to add proper auxiliary verb. Second one is adding proper auxiliary verb. When you are adding auxiliary verb, you have to consider two things. First thing, tense of the verb is to be taken into consideration. Whether it is present tense, whether it is past tense, or it is future tense. If the tense is in present tense, take present auxiliaries. If that is in past tense, consider past auxiliaries. If it is in future tense, you have to use future auxiliaries like will, shall, and all. So, depending upon the tense, you have to add auxiliary verbs. One thing. Another thing, number of the subject. Number of the subject, you know, whether singular or plural. And if the subject that you take, is singular, add a singular auxiliary. If it is plural, add a plural auxiliary. Okay, that is what you have to do in this case. Two considerations you should have. One is tense. The second one is number, singular or plural. Then you will get the correct auxiliary verb there. Okay, now let us see the third one. Third step. This is very important now. Past participle form of the verb. Past participle form of the verb is used. V3 form. In brief, we can say V3 form of the verb is used. And when we are taking the verb, we have to be a little careful because changing voices arises only when the transitive verb is involved. You know the difference between transitive verb and intransitive verb? A transitive verb takes an object, but intransitive verbs do not have objects at all. So, only a sentence with a transitive verb can be changed into passive form. Please remember, we have to take only sentences with the transitive verbs. They can only be converted into passive form. Then, an intransitive verb cannot have a passive voice. Why? Because it does not have an object. So, there should be an object. She is sleeping. We cannot change that into passive voice because it does not have an object there. So, remember, only sentences with the transitive verbs can be converted. Intransitive verb we cannot change or convert into passive voice. Okay. In passive voice, past participle form of the verb is used. Third form, or we can say V3. Past participle form V3 is used. Write, wrote, written, and that written is used. Then read, read, read is used. Break, broke, broken is used. Okay. Third form we are using in the passive voice. Now, next one. By the agent, the last one, last step, by the agent. When we are writing the by agent, you know, the by agent will be the subject of the sentence. Agent is the subject, and certain contexts we don't have to use by agent. We are not writing by agent in certain contexts. And the first one is, you know, by agent is omitted. First one, doer of the action is known from the context. If you can understand, if you can identify the doer of the action from the context, please avoid by the agent. Don't write. For example, the police arrested the thief. The police arrested the thief. And you know who is the by agent here? Definitely it is police. So you can write only like this in passive voice. The thief was arrested. That is enough. The thief was arrested. No need of writing by the police because we know who did it. That is what we call this thing, doer of the action is known from the context. And the second point is, doer of the action is not known. Doer of the action is not known, never used by the agent. If you don't know who is the doer of the action, please don't write. I told you, somebody picked my pocket. Somebody picked my pocket. My pocket was picked. Who? No idea. I don't know. So I don't know how to write by somebody. So that is enough. So remember, these are the 4 steps that we have to follow while converting, while changing an active sentence into passive. First one, take the object into subject position. Second one, add a proper auxiliary verb. Third one, V3 form of the verb is added. And last one, by the agent you can write. You have to write by the agent in particular context, but if these 2 situations come, never write by the agent. No need of mentioning by the agent here. Now, shall we move to the next one? Tense wise change. We can see how can we change from active into passive. Each tense, what are the changes there? That we can see here. Now, tense wise change. The active sentence which you are going to convert is in simple present tense. This is the format. That is object into subject plus am, is, are. You know where to use am, where to use is, and where to use are. Then V3 form of the verb plus by the agent. Okay. Now present continuous tense. Object into subject, am, is, are, plus one more thing that you have to add there, that is being, B-E-I-N-G plus V3 form and by the agent. Now present perfect tense, object into subject plus has or have plus been plus V3 form of the verb or past participle of the verb plus by the agent. And for present perfect continuous tense, there is no passive form, and continuous, perfect continuous, they don't have passive forms at all. Now we are moving to past tense, simple past, object into subject plus was or were plus V3 plus by the agent. Now only one confusion is there, where you have to write was or where we have to write where, that you know, singular was and plural were. Okay. Next one, past continuous tense, object you take into subject position, then you write was or were, then what, being, B-E-I-N-G, then V3 form of the verb plus by the agent. And next one is past perfect tense, object into subject plus had plus been plus V3 plus by the agent. Next one is past perfect continuous, no passive form for perfect continuous tense. Next one is simple future, there object into subject plus will or shall plus be plus V3 and last by the agent. And future continuous, we don't have passive form. Again we are coming to future perfect tense, object into subject plus will or shall plus have plus been plus V3 plus by the agent. Okay. And this is applicable in the case of assertive sentence. Assertive sentence, or what we call active form. And you are converting this into passive form using this formula. Okay. So when we are converting a statement in the active form, we have to follow this method considering the tense. Present tense we have 3, past tense also we have 3, and future we have 2. And dear students, first you find out what is the tense of the verb, then apply this formula. Okay, then it will be very easy for you to change an active sentence into passive. Now, next, let us take a few examples. Now, he waters the plants. Active, simple present tense. This is active and in the simple present. Now, see the answer. The plants are watered by him. Here, he is watering the plants. Present continuous, active form. The plants are being watered by him. Now, he has watered the plants. Present perfect, active form. The plants have been watered by him. Present tense over. Past, simple past, active form. He watered the plants. The plants were watered by him. Second one, he was watering the plants. The plants were being watered by him. Then, past perfect. And this is also past continuous. And here we have past perfect. He had watered the plants. The plants had been watered by him. Now future. He will water the plants. Simple future. The plants will be watered by him. Next. Future continuous. We don't have passive form and we are moving to future perfect tense. He will have watered the plants. The plants will have been watered by him. So now it is clear tense wise how to change an active sentence into passive. Please study that formulas, then follow this pattern. Then it will be very easy for you to convert, to change an active sentence into passive. Now let us move to a few questions. Now please change the following sentences into the passive voice. Rama teaches English. Now next one is the thief stole the money. Then third one is the teacher is demonstrating an experiment. And fourth one is people have forgotten the war hero. And fifth one is Robin is taking a photograph. Now try to convert, try to change this into passive forms. I think you can do that. Now we have the answers also. Please check and correct your answers. Let us see what they are. First one. So now let us try the answers. First one is English is taught by Rama. And you know, English is the object, is the auxiliary verb, taught is the V3 form, and by Rama is by the agent. Now next one, money was stolen by the thief. Third answer is an experiment is being demonstrated by the teacher. Next one. The war hero has been forgotten. No need of writing using by the agent there because it is by the people. The war hero has been forgotten by the people. Okay, no need of writing by the people because it is understood. So we can write the war hero has been forgotten. Now next one is, what is the answer here? Last one, a photograph is being taken by Robin. A photograph is being taken by Robin, and that is in the present continuous tense. So this much for today. Let us wind up here, and in the next class we will discuss how to change then interrogative sentences and imperative sentences into passive form. So please study this and try to do some examples. Thank you very much.